Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing live stream where I heal 130 people in 11 different countries. And this is the third healing in the set of 3. And the theme is nurture and heal yourself. Oh, and you did not, if you were actually like, you had the image for this live stream on your screen and you've been waiting for it to start for more than like 10 minutes, you didn't imagine that initially the image for this healing number 3 said healing 2 of 3, and then now it says healing 3 of 3. You didn't imagine that. I realized my mistake and fixed it. So there's that. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I got a confirmation already that somebody can see and hear me. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so I have some fun stuff today to do. Of course, there's maybe list and definite list and yada yada, but I will preview it right now. And then there will be a detailed healing summary posted within a day in the comment section with timestamp links for you to enjoy if you wish, if you're into that kind of thing. So anyway, the first thing we will do today, I swear, is we will do when we unblock creative rings as part of the 4 essentials, right in the start of the healing. I'm going to remember this time to to get rid of more of that inner crust. Is there 3 gold rings and there's an inner crust sometimes that, well, oftentimes that builds up there. And if you make sure that you melt that off, then the gold light that the rings generate doesn't just go down to your major chakras along your spine. It also goes inward. So it's like a big gold force field within the rings also. And that helps a lot as far as like self-defense. If somebody's trying to hack away at, say, your 7th chakra, they have to do that from, above. And then there's this big gold force field right above your 7th chakra and right above your, some important energy centers within your GB meridian. So that's nice. So anyway, we had done that for 2 healings, and then last healing, I meant to do it, but I forgot. So we will definitely do the enhanced version of creative ring unblocking with that removing of the inner crust. And my goal is, I'll say it that way, my intention and goal is to always do that now. Every time I do the creative ring work to get rid of more and more of that, melt away more and more of that inner crust. Crust is not good in energy healing, energy work. Okay, so anyway, it's not a major part of the healing. Well, it helps, but anyway. So we will repeat some things, but not a ton of them. I think there are 3 things we'll repeat this time. Unblock nurturing loop, which is where you imagine this loop. It's a metaphorical loop, and like you're standing there and there's a loop, and you unblock the loop represents your ability to nurture, and you make sure it flows really well. So in the whole loop, so that you have nurturing energy, period, in general, and then also you have nurturing energy as much as you need to nurture yourself. So anyway, I do think that has been helping a lot with people, just to, because you can nurture yourself just on a continual subconscious level, and I think that is what has opened up the most with that technique, which I think has helped people to stabilize more, which is great. So we'll definitely do that again. The needs mirror, unblock the needs mirror, we'll definitely do that again. That is interesting. I do think that helped people. I was watching, it seems to help people like see the real them as opposed to the them that they think they should be. Even though it's specifically a needs mirror, like you create it out in front of you, a needs mirror, and then you look at what film or junk is in front of, like, caked onto the mirror, preventing you from having a true view of yourself and your needs specifically. And so you keep just melting off junk from the needs mirror, and you can decorate it or whatever. And so we'll do that again. But I think that I was looking at how that affected people, and it seemed to have like a chakra alignment benefit, actually, because people were just, I don't know, they were just, because you can get so much in the way of just perceiving the real you and what you need. So anyway, we'll repeat that. And also we'll repeat this clearing avoidance so you can take the direct, most efficient route from point A to point B, which, you know, can represent a lot of situations in your life where you just are unable to do the simplest, most efficient thing, because if you were to take that direct route, there would be all this inner stuff triggered that you're trying to avoid. And so instead you take this like 20-mile workaround that's way more complex and spends your energy much more because you can't handle the direct route because of what you're avoiding. So we just clear what you're avoiding so that you can handle the direct, most efficient, healthiest route. So we're going to repeat that again. But new for today, there's a bunch, but I think if I had a nutshell what's new for today, it has to do with clearing away all the pain of everybody in the world from your energy field. Because you can, especially if you resist it, you can attract heaviness, like a blocked energy around you from, you know, people in conflict, people in fear, people in literal wars, people in, you know, all sorts of situations. And you can just sort of have that, maybe not in your space, but around your space as like these walls around you, and not in a good way. So we're going to work on that, because I think the problem with nurturing yourself is it does make you more present. And if you have so much pain from other people around you, as you get more present, you might feel it, but then you think it's yours. And it's like, you can't really clear it if you're thinking it's yours. Not as effectively. Like, if you have sadness about getting older. The question is, how much of that is really your sadness? And how much of it is people in your space? How much of it is all sorts of, you know, depression and grief from other people that you have like little pieces of around you, and you get more present, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden I feel sad, you know, or all of a sudden I feel anxious, you know. So we're going to work on just clearing more and more of all that from within your space, but just outside of your space too, so that when you come in, you can have, it's easier to have serenity and inner quiet and, you know, whatever you want to feel, like, you know, inspiration or peace of mind, that kind of thing. So that's the gist of it. We'll do a couple of techniques to just, you know, get rid of the grip pain from around you. Part of that will be doing the 7th to 8th chakra connection between you and your eternal self, between your 7th chakra and your 8th chakra, which is above the top of your aura. So we'll do unblocking for that, but we'll do a special version of it that helps clear away pain from other people. So anyway, it should be fun. Fun times. So let me put out my list of all the people I'm healing. Oh, and I did want to mention, well, thank you for everybody's surveys. I viewed all the ones that were written even like last night. But if you wrote some like, an hour ago, I was preparing in other ways and not reading them. So if you were like super late and you tried to do, you did one like an hour ago, I haven't seen it yet. I'll eventually read it, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't promise to read them until the last second. So, but somebody did note that they were having a physical level problem. They hadn't had it in, like they used to have it, and then they didn't, and now it's back. Oh my God, help me. And the thing is, physical level stuff, the meridians are good for that. Chakras are good for that, but meridians have, a lot of little chakras within them. So if I had a physical problem, like, say, for example, if I had a physical problem about, needing to urinate often, like incontinence problems, right? If I had that problem, I would look up what TCM meridians help with incontinence. And then it would tell me CV meridian and also urinary bladder meridian. And it would tell me specific points on those meridians. And then I would look up diagrams so I knew where those points were. And then I could do energy healing. First of all, I could just do energy healing on the whole meridian itself. So the whole CV meridian, which starts in the crotch and goes up the midline and ends in the roof of the mouth. And then the whole UB meridian, which starts in the corners of the eyes, and then it goes up and over, and it splits from 2 routes into 4 routes and goes down the back, which is super cool. And then it probably ends in I think it ends in the feet. I know it ends in the feet. But, you could just, and, you want to have the intention healthy and gentle, right? And so, but, because whatever you do affects all the other meridians, because it's like one big river flowing within those 12 regular meridians, not CV, but the urinary bladder meridian and those other 12 meridians. It's like one big river. So if you unblock part of one, then there's more energy flowing into the next river, right? And so, which is fine. You just do the work that's healthy and gentle so that you'll be able to, you're not causing yourself more problems, right? So you could imagine all your 12 rivers, all your regular meridians, one of which is urinary bladder meridian. And, if you want to see them in order of flow, that's what that playlist is that I link all the time below in the comment section under, below the healing summary that says optional videos. And there's like 12 TCM meridians listed in order of flow. That's the playlist. But anyway, the point is, if you have a physical level problem, you can address it through energy healing. Not 100%. Like if you have a terrible toothache, you should take your butt to the dentist for sure. Flossing is important. It's not like you can heal your meridians instead of flossing for the rest of your life. Flossing your teeth. But you see what I'm saying? But now you have this awareness. Oh, okay. TCM, traditional Chinese medicine meridians exist. I can do energy healing on my meridians to gently repair and unblock the energy centers within those meridians. So then the meridians kind of wake up and flow better so that you don't have the stagnant energy that is causing the physical issue. So there's that. Just wanted to point that out. And, sometimes people are like, oh my God, it just happened since the second healing. Chances are the second healing did not make you incontinent, although, it's always good for me to know about what's going on, and then I'll look for sure to make sure. But yeah, of course, in this case, yeah, the second healing did not make anyone incontinent. Doesn't mean that someone didn't have, people can't have urinary system issues. But chances are it's because somebody whacked you pretty hard, which causes damage. It causes aura damage, and if they do it enough times, the rips get deep enough, and then the force of that energy they're throwing can crack the big chakras, the major chakras along your spine, but also the little chakras, the minor chakras in the meridians, right? So you just do your 4 essentials. You don't have to look up all your meridians and all that if that's blowing your mind too much. Do your 4 essentials: grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, and then all the major and minor chakras, including creative ray repair. Just get everything straight again. You don't have to know who did it, how it was done, what time of night did it happen, blah blah blah. Just fix it. So hope that makes sense. Alrighty, righty-boo. Okay, so I'm going to catch up on comments. Thank you for all my hellos. They're so cute. Hello, I can see and hear you. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago. 40 degrees and sunny. That sounds nice. Hi from Chicago. Hello from Lake Worth Beach in Florida in the US. I'm suddenly confused between healing my spirit self and healing my physical self. I'm feeling I need to do this healing twice, once on the astral plane and once physical plane. You are making it too complicated. See, just as a heads up, and I am very much a feminist, but anyone can be imbalanced enough to make things too complicated, but women have a special talent for that. Including myself. So simplicity is a gift. But if you're in a female lifetime, and I know that can sound like I'm hating on people who are transgender or people who are non-gendered. It's not true. It's just that the hormones, whatever hormones are in your body, however they got there, can affect thought patterns and behavior and whatever, so that's all I'm referring to. But anyway, yeah, so you don't need to. Okay, so there's a part of your spirit that's always on the astral. I call that part of your body the astral body, and but you don't have to. That part is fine. Just make sure that part of your body, that part of your astral body, is not like in a bad astral neighborhood. Just go. Let that astral body go to a nice astral place with your angels, and just your angels will pick some pretty calming astral location. But that's just for your astral body. Your regular astral body is, the part that can be fully present in your physical body, and that's what I would suggest for when you're awake, is to be as present as you can be in as many physical body chakras as you can. And then when you heal yourself, or when I'm healing you, I'm healing that part, the astral body and your physical body, and I heal them at the same time, which is not hard to do. And that's what you could do if you're healing yourself. So no, you don't need to do 2 separate healings. I mean, if you want to just geek out at some point, once you already feel fantastic and you want to just, clean out your shoulder and just look at what do your shoulders look like of your astral body and give them a little cleaning, and what do your shoulders look like of your physical body and give them a little cleaning. Well, that's fun, But if you're kind of freaking out, you're not that present, yeah, no. That's not the time to get more complicated. That's the time to wiggle your toes and wiggle your butt and surround yourself with red earth energy from the core of the earth and just chill the heck out. Eat some protein, do a stretch or something. So hope that helps. All right. So yeah, so now we'll do our 3 minutes of a 3 minute quiet time period, which I tremendously enjoy. And I'll be finishing my prep and saying hello to the 130 people that I'm about to be healing. Which, by the way, anybody is welcome to purchase a healing set, group healing set from me when they are available. I do still have 1 or 2 spots. I do have a few spots left for the April twin set. So you can email me. They're not on my website. They're not available on my website because, I don't know, it just felt weird. So, because usually things sell out pretty fast. And so I don't think people actually know to look like a week later and see if there's a spot. So just email me if you're curious if there's a spot, or to open that you need for like you and your sister or something. But the all the May manual purchase spots that you can purchase will be going up on my payment page, purchase page, however you want to say it, on the 15th, which is in a week or so, 8 days technically. Okay, and the US will have a time change between now and then. So the US will spring forward an hour. So I'll email people about that though. If you're on my news email list, I'll email people about the time change, when I email them about the sessions going up, just to remind people that, like say if you live in Qatar or you live in the UK, it might feel different the time that goes up, because for you technically it is. For us it's still, they go up for sale approximately on around noon my time on the 15th. But for you, whatever time it is, it'll be an hour different. So hope that makes sense. And you are welcome to purchase those sessions until they sell out on the 15th of March. And if you're curious if there is a spot open for sooner than that, email me, Janet@janetwrightreadings.com. JanetWrightReadings.com. JanetWrightReadings.com. All right. Someone's like, oh man, I still have to floss every day. Yeah, I'm just now wrapping my brain around that. And I'm 52. Someone was like, one of my clients who's like in her early 30s, she's like, oh my God, I've been ignoring my teeth for so long. I'm such a terrible human being. No one's ever gonna love me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know that like the majority of humanity ignores their dental needs? Like, you're now just in the vast majority of humanity. Like, welcome to the club. It's not a great club to be in, but but yeah, so I mean, yes, dental care is good. The sooner you can wrap your brain around that, the better. So if you can wrap your brain around daily flossing of your teeth in your 30s, it's way better than if you're like me, wrapping your brain around the need to floss your teeth when you're finally in your 50s. So there's that. Okay, and if you do feel like, oh my God, woe is me about anything, chances are your heart chakra's blocked up. So it's always good to check. 4th chakra, just unblock it in the front, the back, lots of old light. Because that's the chakra that helps you to just put things into perspective, and also 7th to 8th connection helps you to put things in perspective and just have like mellow wisdom and not be like all doomy gloomy. So there's that. Okay, so now I promise we're gonna have the quiet time, and then we're gonna start the healing. And when I start the healing, the first minute when I'm doing it, I won't talk because I just want to focus, and then I will heal and say out loud what I'm doing for the rest of the healing, which serves as an all levels healing, self-healing walkthrough if you want to use it that way and heal yourself as you listen, which is optional, of course. And then later this month, the twin set, which is on the 19th and 21st this month, all the whole schedule's on my website, janetwrightreadings.com. But that will be Nudge Yourself Forward, which is kind of a cute one. Especially cute because it's like right at the start of spring, which I can't believe. Nudge yourself forward. Boop, boop, boop. So that'll be the twin set this month. Alrighty. Now for some quiet, 3 minutes or so. Thank you for your patience. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. And feel free to enjoy a healthy beverage or stretch or do something simple. Okay, thank you for waiting. So let's start. So When you heal, you can use a copy out in front of you, which you create with your intention or your thought. You don't have to see energy yet. You create a copy that it could be your whole energy system all at once, or you could then destroy that and make a copy of just the part of your energy system that you're healing right now. Either way, potato, potato. So the copy of everything would include your 17 auras, physical body, astral body, and then 15 Wei Qi auras, which help with strong boundaries. Well, it is your strong boundaries energy. And then you have 2 groundings, your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding. And that's what we will do first. And of course, your physical body and your astral body are within all those auras. Okay, so grounding. Just recreate your grounding. Make it really wide as all your auras. So probably that is as wide as the heel of the palm of your hand if you were to stretch out your arms. Red or orange or yellow are really wonderful colors for your grounding, because those colors are not too triggering for your lower chakras. So therefore, it'd be easier for you to be more present if your grounding are one of those colors. And I would suggest that you bring your grounding up high as your 3rd chakra, where your sternum bone ends at your solar plexus. That's where your 3rd chakra is. So bring your grounding up that high just to more support those lower chakras. And then you can make a copy out in front of you of your new grounding. And just comb through it with gold light to wash out all the junk. Other people's problems, other people's energy. Melt away any blocks at all. You may notice blocks that relate to like different problems that you've been thinking about. So just melt them, because that'll help you over time solve those problems that you were thinking about. So just melt all the blocks in your grounding. And so that's basically, creating your grounding and unblocking it as well. So then we'll do indie grounding, which is where you check the outer surface and you use gold light and melt off anything attaching to the outer surface of your grounding. Typically that would be where your grounding is connecting to other people's grounding, so you melt that off, because that just messes up everybody's grounding if you link it all up like that. It also could be hard objects that someone has thrown that are just kind of sticking out the outer edge of your grounding, so you just, melt the whole hard object with gold light and just heal the edge of your grounding so they're nice and sealed and they don't leak and they're not attached to anybody else's grounding. This helps you to have free will and be individual and have effective grounding that actually flows downward and helps you release things and helps you manage stress. If you feel that somebody is controlling you, or like you feel like you have no choice and you have to do what they want all the time, check your grounding, because a lot of times they're wired into your grounding, which gives you this feeling of like that you're their personal puppet. And you kind of are, because they're piping their energy through your grounding and puppeting you. So indie grounding is important. Just wash everybody out of your grounding and melt away the connections. Will some people get mad at you because you've done that? Well, sure. But I mean, what's the point of life? To be somebody's personal slave, or to, try to be healthy and stronger and more well? You can't just let your energy be destroyed all the time because somebody then is like 80% furious with you as opposed to 85% furious with you. That's not really worth it. So just wash everybody out and melt away the connections to your grounding. Okay, good job. So that's indie grounding. So then let's do aura repair of your 17 auras. So again, that is simpler than maybe you might make it in your brain, because all those auras are in the same place, if you're reasonably present, and you just heal them all at once with gold light from your hands. Oh, and how gold light is generated by your hands is that you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand and an energy center in each fingertip, and you set them with your intention to vibrate at a gold color, and therefore the energy that they naturally generate as they spin is a metallic gold color, which is really nice for unblocking and repairing and healing. So just comb through everywhere, all your 17 auras, and just get an intuitive sense of where the rips are. And don't worry if you don't have confidence in your intuition, it gets better with time. Your confidence. Anyway, so now we will do a technique which does not require confidence or good intuition, which is a composite copy technique. And so that's how we'll repair all the rips that are healthy and gentle to repair in your 17 auras. So you make one copy, make one rip, and with your intention, you have this one rip represent all the rips that you have in your 17 auras that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. Right? So you have that composite copy rip, and you're going to repair it, and therefore repair all the rips in your auras. So you have your rip, and you want to clean it out, so you can use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that hardens and sticks to everything that's not you. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, have the junk, the gold wax harden into a lump with all that junk stuck to it, and then lift that out and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So then you still have your composite copy rip. Fill it up with gold light one more time, gold wax one more time, sticky gold wax, and lift out the junk with the wax. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So now this rip should be pretty clean, even if you can't see energy. And just use gold light more so that the gold light causes this rip to heal up and grow back and repair itself. And there may be a few rips that are more stubborn that did not repair, so we'll do that process one more time, a little faster, just for the remaining rips. So imagine one rip that represents the remaining leftover rips that you have in your auras that's really good to repair right now, and then fill it up with sticky gold wax. Have the wax harden on the junk, lift out all the junk at once, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. One more time, sticky gold wax. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And just use gold light to repair these remaining rips. All right, good job. So that's the basics of aura repair. But we'll do some extras, just cause, why not? So the extras would be repairing, melting away, aura scarring, and aura bruising. So those are like hard, bumpy leftovers from having energy thrown at you. So the aura scarring might be, if you have any of it, would be on the outer edges of any of your 17 auras. And then the aura bruising, if you have it, would be in those 2 auras that have layers to them, 7 layers, your astral body aura and your physical body aura. You could have like a patch of a couple layers of hardness, and that's aura bruising. So just make a big pile of copies of all your aura scarring and all your aura bruising, and just use gold light and take your time and melt it away. If you have any leftover aura scarring and aura bruising, just put it out in front of you, make a pile of it, or several piles, and just use cold light and let it melt. If any's left over, just say, angels, can you help me with this? Oh, right, good job, good job, good job. So now we will do, we've done half of our 4 essentials, grounding and aura repair. So now we will do creative ring repair and unblocking, the enhanced version, where you melt away the inner crust so that you get gold light flowing inside the rings as well as down to all your major chakras. So your creative rings, you make a copy of them out in front of you. There are 3 gold rings right up here, 1, 2, 3. They come and go with you as a spirit with your astral body. But just make a copy of them out in front of you, 1, 2, 3, 3 gold rings, and just use gold light and repair them. They could be cracked, they could be just blown up, halfway blown up. But if you use gold light and repair where they should be, they'll just kind of grow back. And you can have damage on the underside of the rings too that maybe is not as noticeable because you're kind of perceiving it from this top-down view. So you can turn the rings upside down and just use gold light on the undersides of them. The damage on the undersides could look like scratches or just caked on junk. So just use gold light and wash off the junk and repair the scratches. Whoa. Excuse me. You can put your copy on the right side up again. And that inner crust, which is sort of a new thing to pay attention to and clear, you may have hardness sort of stuck in the inner surface of these 3 rings. So you just can be aware of that and loosen it up with gold light and lift it out. Yeah, you could just kind of let it dissolve, use a whole bunch of gold light and it just sort of dissolves into nothing. Or you could blow it up if you're healing yourself, or you can hand it to your angels. So again, you have your 3 creative rings, and then there's like possibly an inner crust. So just melt more of that off and lift it up and just use gold light and just let it dissolve into nothing. And then you could be aware of the flaps. So this is a top-down view of your top creative ring and with the flaps open, which is an irritated state. That would feel kind of overwhelming, kind of intense, which we don't want. The flaps would open like this if you had cords, like pairs of cords going in at some point, and the energy that someone was sending in through those cords would kind of irritate the ring, and the flaps would open up like, And then, unfortunately, just because to show you that the realities of energy is not fair, when you're already overwhelmed, your flaps are open, so that makes it easier for other people to cord you too. So just melt the cords going into any of your creative rings. There's no good reason for anybody to cord your creative rings. I don't care if they're your kid or your husband or anybody. So just melt the cords so that those flaps can relax and fall shut, so then they don't stick out like that anymore. And you could imagine the invasive people and the invasive beings that are trying to cord your creative rings as like balloons floating up above, and each balloon sends down a pair of, balloon strings to the creative rings, which is the cords. And so any balloons that are invasive beings trying to mess with your creative rings, just say, angels, can you please recycle them? And that'll make the cords disappear too from those beings, because the beings are gone. And then if there are any more invasive being balloons that are connected to your creative rings, just say, angels, can you please recycle those? And then if you have invasive people balloons, represent invasive people cording your creative rings represented by balloons, just melt those cords. Use gold light and just let them melt. And if they're cording anywhere else in the top of your aura, you can just wash them out. Wash out cords from them. Anywhere else in your aura or your chakras. So this is just a general decording everywhere, melting away cords from people. The only one that I would suggest you keep is a cord from if you have a young child, you are the parent of a young child, 13 years or younger, then there's a first chakra cord I would suggest you keep, but only that cord. All right, cool. So we could do sticky gold wax just to do some extra unblocking around the creative rings, and then all the way up and down your spine to unblock your spine, but also to unblock all the major chakras, astral and physical. So have the sticky gold wax stick to all the junk that's not you, that you're ready to get rid of. And you're going to move the wax out with all the junk. And you could blow it up if you want, if you're healing yourself, or you could hand it to your angels, or you could just melt it all with gold light. Anything left over, just say, angels, here you go. You may want to do a little stretching just to adjust to clearing all that energy. You could do that again if you want. Sticky gold wax to unblock your creative rings and all your major chakras. Have the wax stick to the junk, move out the junk, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And again, breathe into all your major chakras and joints. Breathe into your toes and your fingers. Oh, right, good job. Gold buffer zones, I forgot to do that. So that's good to do anytime. But, I just like doing it after aura repair just to be OCD about it. I don't know, it feels like mentally that's where it belongs. But it doesn't matter. Just redo your gold buffer zones. Those are giant gold force fields that you create to put at the edge of your astral body aura and the edge of your physical body aura, just as an added protection, and you can just recreate them whenever, especially if you're feeling like, something just happened to your aura, somebody threw some energy, just redo your buffer zones. That would be the first step. And then you can, when you have a moment, do your 4 essentials, aura repair, grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, just to get everything all fixed up. And there will be a video linked below later about gold buffer zones if you don't know how to make them. Okay. So chakra repair of all your major and minor chakras. So you just make a composite copy of an open cylinder shape like this. So cylinder, round opening. That's the basic shape of all chakras. And so just make that open cylinder shape, and with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras, and then go ahead and use gold light to repair and unblock it and melt cords. You can lift out the junk all at once, any junk that's healthy to get rid of, meaning energy blocks, beings, people, cords. Just lift out the junk. You could blow it up. You could melt it away. You could give any leftovers to your angels. Angels, here you go. The damage can look like cracks or missing pieces or gashes that don't belong there. Someone in their survey, they're like, oh, well, you know, someone in my extended family made some gashes in one of my chakras. How can I prevent that from happening in the future? You can't. You just get stronger and stronger and heal it faster next time. You know, I mean, the more you heal yourself, the more flow you have. Flow is protection. So chances are, if someone was able to get enough force into your energy field to blow a hole in one of your major chakras, there was probably some hardness that they used as little stepping stones to get that internal and to blast energy like that. I mean, unless they just blasted open all your auras and then the energy was able to make a gash in your chakra. But if your auras are like mostly intact, then they just stepped on various hard pieces of energy in your space to get that much of their energy in to be able to deliver that blow. But yeah, you just get good at repairing. And also at, you know, at tending to the flow. And but yeah, you can't prevent it from ever happening again. You just know that you're strong and you can repair anything. And you have flaps around the outer openings. You have flaps around the openings, the round openings of your chakras. So just melt cords so that those flaps can relax and fall shut. And unblock these round openings because you want your energy to be able to flow in and out of the chakra itself. So in one end, out the other, whichever way the chakra is oriented. But so just unblock both openings. Don't worry about direction of flow. And I said that, you know, today's sub-theme, you know, the overall theme is nurturing yourself and healing yourself. But the sub-theme has to do with getting rid of the pain of everybody in the world. So it's not jammed into your space or jammed around your space. So lift out pain from other people, a healthy and gentle amount, but go ahead and lift out that junk from other people. It could be people in your country. It could be people on your continent. It could be people in the whole planet. It could be people in your genetic extended family in this life. It could be past life junk. So it doesn't matter. Just lift that out. And you could blow it up, or you could just kind of melt it so it's nothing, or you could just hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift it out, hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And again, this is just pain from the world. Lift it out. Angels, here you go. Because there's a difference between like just denial and just blocking out the suffering in the world, like the wars and the raping and the abuse and all the, famine and, starvation and sickness and illness and blah, blah, blah. You can like pretend it doesn't happen and somehow, you're in this world where none of that occurs. Or you can just acknowledge that, but make sure it's not within you, because that's not helping anybody. So lift out, all the human pain around illness and war and conflict or whatever. Just lift all that out of your chakras and melt it away with gold light. Lift it out and melt it away with gold light. It's not that then you can't help others, I mean, you could. You'd be much more able if you wanted to, if you chose to, say volunteer for some organization where you do deal with people in conflict. But if you have it within you as well, it's too triggering to directly deal with those people in the greater conflict. But anyway, so just lift out all that junk that has to do with other people's pain. Just lift it all out and just keep using gold light so that it melts away. Lift it out, melt it away. And this could technically help others, actually, although you're mainly doing it to help yourself. But other people could be inspired by that, and they could subconsciously notice and let go of some of it themselves. So lift out the pain from others on the planet and just melt it away with gold light. Lift out the pain from your chakras, lift it out, melt it away with gold light. Of course, your intention is healthy and gentle. And then 2, we could do for the theme, which is nurture and heal yourself. So any energy in your chakras, major and minor chakras, that is blocking you from nurturing and healing yourself, just lift that out and just use so much gold light that it just melts away. Lift out anything in the way of you nurturing and healing yourself. Lift that out of your chakras and you could blow it up. You could give it to your angels, there you go, or you could melt it with gold light. Melt the cords. And again, the major chakras tend to repair faster than the minor chakras. So you can just kind of pay attention to that and do a little extra in the repair just with the gold light so that all those little chakras in your meridians can get repaired and unblocked as well. To the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. Okay, good. So that's chakra repair and unblocking, and we did it in general and for getting the pain of everyone on the planet out of your chakras, and also, which I'll just call group pain. And then also for the theme, we unblocked the chakras to help the theme of nurturing yourself and healing yourself. Okay, good job. So that's your 4 essentials: grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. So if you feel messed up, do you need to know right away who did it to you and, when exactly and what situation, caused it to occur? No, just do your 4 essentials until you feel good again. And then if you want, at that point, your intuition's going to work better. And you could, work on intuiting who, what, when, where. But first, get yourself all fixed up. And you don't need to know who did it for that. Alrighty. So now we're going to do the sort of, I said, the thing that's unique to this healing 3 of 3. Which is clearing out, I'll call it group pain. And it's not like group pain as in, because this is a group healing where I'm healing multiple people at one time. But I heal everyone separately, like if there's not a mushing of energy among the people that I'm healing. But when I'm talking about group pain, it's like I said, it's everyone on the planet, or maybe with an extra sensitivity to the pain of people in your religious group, or in your ethnic group, or in your national group, or your age group and gender group, or whatever. But anyway, it's common to have other people's junk in your space and around your space. And that's what we're going to work on melting away, so that you feel better, basically. Because if you want to heal yourself, it's going to get you more present. And then, so you want to feel good. You want to feel like this is doable. We don't want you feeling anger and sadness and fear that's not even you, which is possible when you have everyone's anger, sadness, and fear wrapped around you. So, it could be in you, like literally, like soaked into your bones, your organs, and your nervous system, and your auras and your chakras. And it could also be like around the outside of you, like a big, like 5 walls of global pain all around you. And it could be around your 7th to 8th connection. I noticed that 7th chakra in the top of your head, confidence, intuition, identity, empowerment. 8th chakra looks like a big gold sun shining down on you, and it shines down on you your eternal wisdom and healing energy that you've gained in past lives. So it's good stuff, really good stuff. So there's a literal gold cord in between your 7th chakra and your 8th chakra. And so we have unblocked that in the past, and we will unblock that now. But then around the gold cord, you can have walls of like the pain of the world, or the pain of different groups of people around that cord. And that can kind of tend to smush it and make it more slim. So you're not getting as much of that reassuring, strengthening energy. So I've noticed that people in their sort of darkest hours, if they feel depressed or despair or anxious or whatever, that, they're kind of getting, it's like they're kind of a light that's getting dimmed by just all the pain from people on the planet and people in their different groups, sort of, smushing out their light. Right, so we don't want that, right? So we're going to just keep it simple and imagine, you can imagine your auras. Of course, your 2 bodies are in there, astral and physical, your groundings. And I guess first we can wash out from within you the group pain or global pain, whatever you want to call it. But just, it's people. It's not invasive beings. It's people's pain. Their anxiety, their fear, their sadness, their anger, or whatever. So just use gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, and then orange earth energy, and then yellow earth energy from the core of the earth, and then gold light, and just wash everybody out. Wash all the conflict out, all the fear, all the sadness, all the loneliness, all the anger, all the grief. Just wash it out. Because that's not a good way to help others. It doesn't work. It's just debilitating. Like, some people, their lives are very affected by racism. If your skin color is typically not like mine, if your skin color is brown or black, like not literally, but you know what I mean. If you're not white, Caucasian, then racism may, depending on what country you live in, racism, like the US, racism might be a really big deal, and it might really affect you. And so this doesn't get rid of everybody's racism, but it helps you to have your light be brighter, and it does help. So whatever, maybe you deal with religious discrimination or gender discrimination or sexuality discrimination or no discrimination at all. You just carry the pain of the world in you anyway, which a lot of people do. So just wash it out with gold light. That's not the way to help people. It just smushes your light. So just within you, just wash out your 17 auras, your body systems, astral body, physical body, all your chakras. Your groundings just wash out all the grip pain. Your pain, fear, aggression, intimidation, whatever. Wash it out. All right, so that's from within you, and that's the healthy and gentle amount to do right now. Well, it is for me that me healing people. Maybe you need to go for another minute, and you could pause this live stream or whatever if you need to. But and obviously you can do more later. But then, so we did within your auras and your groundings. So now we'll acknowledge too the 7th to 8th connection that you have, a gold cord that goes from gold flowing cord that goes from your 7th to your 8th chakra. So your 7th chakra, gold cord, your top of your aura is here. So then it goes above that to wherever your 8th chakra is at the moment. You know, a big gold sun either up here or down here, whatever. So gold light, and just relax and unblock that 7th to 8th connection that you have, so that it's a wider connection, nice and flowing like a big river. So you can get down from your 8th chakra as much eternal wisdom and healing energy as you need to help you to keep things in perspective, to just mellow out, be smart, be mellow, make wise decisions. Okay, so that's sort of, we did the internal stuff, and then the 7th, 8th connection itself to make sure it's flowing within. And you can find little blocks within that 7th to 8th chakra river, and just melt the blocks. Okay, but then you can have group pain wrapped around, like these walls around your 7th, 8th connection and around your auras. So you have your gold buffer zones, right? But you can still have the pain of the world, people, you know, people's pain around, like even 15 feet out from the edge of your auras. You can have a wall going all around you, like the hard, crusty pain and grief and fear and anxiousness and sadness and anger of people in the world. So you don't want that. So just to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, just be aware of what's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. So you have your 7th, 8th cord and, you know, your edge of your auras, and then just out from there, just melt away the pain of the world that is wrapped around you. Around the 7th, 8th connection and around your auras. And around your grounding. Oh, wow. All right, so that was clearing group pain within your auras, etc., and within your 7th to 8th connection. But then we cleared group pain wrapped around the outside. Of your auras and around the outside of your 7th to 8th connection. All right. And specifically doing that from around your 7th to 8th connection, I think can help you not have like as many lows, like emotional lows, or, you know, like sometimes a lot of people go in and out of moods, bad moods. And I think if you get rid of the pain of the world from around your 7th to 8th connection, then it gets bigger and stays. It sort of gets a like a gold force field around the 7th to 8th connection, so that it sort of buffers itself better. So then you would be you would have less low lows. Your lows would not be as low. Because that 7th to 8th connection brings you lots of healing energy and wisdom, and helps you to feel like you're okay. Yeah. Okay, so hope that helps. Hope you like it. Clearing group pain within yourself and around you. Good job, good job, good job. So now we will do some tummy meridian work, which so I will bring up a diagram now which shows the front of the body, but it is a male body and an especially hairy male body. So I hope that that's not too shocking. So here he is. So anyway, I didn't make the image. It's a very nice image though. It shows these traditional Chinese medicine meridians, and all those little dots are acupuncture points within the meridian, meaning minor chakras within the meridian. So like little motors to keep the energy flowing within the meridian. So these are what I call your tummy meridians. Most of them, the ones that are going straight up and down in this diagram, I call those your tummy meridians, which the one going up the midline, that's your CV meridian. Conception vessel meridian, which is important for nurturing. The CV meridian helps manage all of your yin meridians, and yin is a more self-nurturing energy. So CV meridian. Also, that is one of the meridians that helps with urinary incontinence, especially the lower points on that CV meridian. So it starts at your crotch, so like going up from your crotch in the CV meridian. So if you unblock and repair and heal right there. But anyway, so CV meridian, and then the two orange lines in the diagram are kidney meridian, which also flows upward, and then the two green lines are stomach meridian, which those two lines flow downward, and then the purple lines in the diagram is the spleen meridian, and that flows upward. So down, down, up, down. But you don't have to know the flow, because the chakras know that, and so you just repair them and unblock them and repair the energy channel itself, and it just does what it does. You don't have to think about it if you don't want. So that's introducing the tummy meridians, which I've done a million times, I'm sure, but hopefully you didn't mind. So that's explaining tummy meridians. So now we will do repair and unblocking all of your tummy meridians, and especially the area in front of there. Unblock in front. Because if you don't unblock in front, then chances are you do have hard plates of energy, and it's easier for people to cord them and send energy, which kind of presses the whole thing and messes with the meridians, and it's a mess. So we're going to unmess now. So you just imagine your tummy meridians and the space in front, all your auras in front of that area, right? And that's what we're going to be working. So like CV meridian, that one I say goes straight up. That's one of your special meridians. That's not one of the 12 regular meridians, because it manages all your yin meridians, the CV meridian, conception vessel meridian. So you just imagine it like a red tube. And unblock the red tube and repair it. Repair the little chakras within it. Just with gold light. Oh. But again, you can move out the pain of the world, you know, all the pain from people in the world. Just move that out of your CV meridian and melt it away. Move out the global pain from your CV meridian and melt it away. And the diagram uses all sorts of different, the diagram there uses all sorts of different colors to show you the different meridians. But energy-wise, red is a good color for all the body meridians, and so you can imagine your life force flowing through them as a red color. And you can imagine the energy blocks. Most of them, they could be white, or they could be black. They could be other colors, but that's the most common thing there. Either really high vibration or really low vibration. You just wash that out with gold light so that it's only your red flowing energy. Nothing else. All right, and then kidney meridian. You see the two branches there shown as orange lines on the diagram. They don't go straight up forever. They do other things, but there, see how they start to do other things. But I don't know. Tell me, doing this whole region where they're going straight up and down is really cool. And also in front, whenever you just intuit, go back and forth, but working the actual meridians and the auras in front of them. You just sort of comb forward in the auras and just find the hard blocks and just melt them away. Comb forward, find the blocks, melt them away. Comb forward, find the blocks, melt them away. Oh. All right, so the kidney meridian shown as orange on the diagram. I'm just doing a little bit of that. And there's no magical order, like you can do whichever meridians you want. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Oh, excuse me. And, you know, maybe you have the pain of the world like right in front of your belly area, so you can just wrap up the pain of the world in gold light, lift it out, and then you can just sort of dissolve it all. Lift out the pain of the world, lift it out, dissolve it all. That's not a group healing, because you're just melting away the copies of everybody's pain that you have taken on. So it's just your junk that you're getting rid of. Junk within your space. All right. Stomach meridian, shown on that diagram as two dark green lines which flow downward. and then the space in front of the stomach meridian. Just unblock any junk there. All right, and then the purple lines on the diagram, your spleen meridian, which also goes upward. Oh, and you can ignore those on the diagram. Those there's these white dots on the purple line. That's just how the video goes when it shows the life force traveling up. It shows these white dots moving. But ideally, there's no white, actually, literally in your meridian. So this is spleen meridian. If you feel like it's more compressed than it needs to be, just also unblocking in front of it, and the auras in front of it sometimes can help the meridian to expand. And again, you may have energy dumped from others or blocked energy of your own in the area in front of these meridians. So just wrap it up in gold light and take it out, and you could blow it up or melt it away or give it to your angels. Lift out the junk, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk to the extent that's healthy and gentle. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right, good job. So that was tummy meridians. Unblocking them, repairing the chakras within them, repairing the meridians themselves, getting them flowing, and unblocking your auras in front of the tummy meridians just so they can be comfortable. All right, good job. Yay. And I took down the diagram, so you don't have to stare at it for the next 10 minutes while I do other things. Sometimes I forget to take down the diagram. Sorry about that. But, I want to do timeline healing to help the theme of you being aware of your needs and you self-nurturing, healing and nurturing yourself. I have been emphasizing in this set about your needs. You have to, it helps to have a deeper, more accurate sense of your true needs. Like, for example, maybe you think you're thinking of like a dream job that you want, right? But maybe what you need right now is a steady job with some health benefits and, regular hours and a standard salary. That may not be what you want, but that may be what you need at this time in your life. In order to just, keep you sane and help you take care of your responsibilities right now. So there's wants, but then there's needs. Needs can be very different than wants. They could be similar, but they could be very different. Because you could just be not really aligned with how you are at the present time. Sometimes people it's good to have dreams, and goals and all that are long-term, but sometimes people get confused and they think they're supposed to do everything that they want tomorrow and that the magic of energy healing is going to make all that happen. So it's sort of like enabling a detachment from reality, which is not helpful, right? So we don't want that. We want you to be more and more aware of your actual needs, the actual reality of today in your actual life. And yes, be able to dream and dream big, but to realize the actual baby steps that it will take and the amount of time it will take for you to reach your big dreams and manifest them. So what do you need today? What do you need this year? What do you need next year? So hope that makes sense. So that I've been emphasizing that a lot in this set, because self-nurturing, that's really the most effective way to self-nurture, is to be aware of your actual needs. Like me, I need peace and quiet. I just really like that. So, I didn't probably realize that, at all times in my life, but it's always been true. I've just never really realized it as much as I do now. So, you have different needs, and, it's important. So we're going to be doing unblocking your needs mirror after this, but that's not what we're going to do right now. But we're going to do timeline healing right now, which we haven't done yet in this set. Excuse me, I need to. Timeline healing is where you imagine a timeline and your body is in the present, and hopefully more and more and more of you is in the present. But you imagine the timeline, and that can include the past, in this life, past lives even. So there's a big long timeline to one side of the present, and then even a timeline into the future, because sometimes your energy can be stuck in the future. Particularly if you're fixated on what you want, but it's not something that is like gonna happen this week. That could potentially put your energy, a lot of it, into the future, which then further gets you sort of flustered and top heavy. So with timeline healing and being aware of your needs and being able to self-nurture, the more that your energy is in the present, the better. Because an example, sort of a classic example, I guess, within energy healing and psychology, is if you have a bunch of energy, when you're thinking of what do you need, if you have a bunch of your energy stuck in your childhood, then you can have a sort of a childish way of thinking of things, and you can be very stubborn. And when you're disappointed, you can be very pouty about it. How little kids throw a tantrum, and you can kind of be throwing a tantrum in your life, even though, you're 30 or 40 or 50. So it doesn't look the same. You're not screaming on the floor in a store, hopefully. But in your own way, internally, you could be throwing a tantrum because too much of your energy is stuck in the past, in your childhood years. And so you're not really perceiving your life and your issues and your needs and your self-healing projects as an adult would. You're perceiving them as a hurt child would, or as, say, from a past life. So you're thinking, oh, I don't need computers, because a ton of your energy is in the 1800s. So you're like, computers, credit cards, I don't need any of that. Whereas reality is, for some reason for your work, you really need a credit card or whatever, So it's good in order to best see your needs and most effectively heal yourself, it's good to have as much of your energy as possible in the present and not in the past or the future, right? So that's explaining. So now we will do timeline healing, so that specifically for when you're thinking of your needs and you're thinking of healing yourself, even subconsciously, because you could be an adult, have an adult perspective and attitude about certain things in your life, but really not about other things in your life. For example, maybe maybe you're very good at, your personal finances, but when it comes to folding your laundry, you're completely paralyzed and you can't fold your laundry, and, it stays in the laundry room for a week after you wash it, So it can be very specific. So I want to look at, well, we could look at in general first. So there's a timeline, and the present is at some point in your timeline, and that's where your physical body is always. And then hopefully a bunch of your energy is also in the present. But then just imagine like little parts of your energy, if it is in other parts, present, past, or future, and just use lots of gold light and heal those parts of you that are stuck in those other times, so that those parts of you can get unstuck and come to the present. And especially check out childhood in this life. But of course, it could absolutely be childhood from past lives, or any time from past lives, or in the future. And again, you want to see what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So there's your body in the present, hopefully a bunch of your energy too. And you can imagine where your energy is, like, piles of stuck energy if it's in the past or the future. But you can also imagine it like flowers or something, little bits of your energy, and just heal the flowers so that they, pixelate and come to the present. You can especially notice the years of, this pandemic that we've been in, COVID-19 time period, which I want to say started like February 2021. Hopefully, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, that the COVID-19 time period, I guess maybe it started in January in China. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's just that, there is a lot of mental and emotional energy that people tend to get stuck about with. Obviously, it's a big global event. So just see if you have energy stuck during that time period, and you can just heal that part of you so that you come into the present. I think sometimes the people that are most like kind of triggered about the pandemic is over, the pandemic is over, the pandemic is over, they have a lot of energy stuck in this time period. And they think that, everyone else has to think a certain way for them to get that energy unstuck, but it's not true. Just however you feel about vaccines and masks and whatever, it doesn't matter. Just you can heal your own energy so that you're not stuck in the past and you're in the present. So again, this is when you're thinking about your needs, and even just subconsciously, you're thinking of healing yourself, maybe in a little way, like, oh, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, or I'm going to have a deep breath. I'm going to go to bed earlier than usual, or actually on time, or not quite as late as I usually do, or whatever. Like these little micro opportunities to nurture yourself. Where does your energy go? Does it stay in the present, or does it go into one of these stuck time periods? And just heal that. Okay. All right. So that was timeline healing, so that you can be more in the present when you're contemplating your needs and nurturing and healing yourself, thinking about planning, getting ready to nurture and heal yourself. So this is a repeat I like a lot. I think we just did it in the second healing, not in the first and second. Yeah. Which is clearing avoidance so that you can take the most direct, efficient, healthiest route from A to B. The angels explained to me this metaphor about avoidance, where it's like as if you know, going from A to B, there's a really efficient and quick and simple route to get there, but along the journey of getting there, it would trigger some internal stuff that you're trying to avoid. And so rather than taking that route and getting those things triggered, which you want to avoid, you're using this very long workaround. So instead of like a 20-foot long path, you're taking a 20-mile path around to avoid what you're avoiding. And so it spends a lot of extra energy and time, and it's just kind of tiring. So what you can do is imagine, okay, well, what are the major situations in your life or important situations in your life where you're doing that? So there's a short, healthy, efficient path, and then there's that long avoidant path, and you're choosing the long avoidant path instead, right? So you just imagine the short path, and imagine, like, maybe if you want, you can imagine like just little bundles of energy along the side of that short path, and that's what you're avoiding, and just melt away the bundles of energy that you're avoiding. That is along the efficient short path. You're melting this baggage that you're avoiding, so then you can choose, if you want, to take the short path, because there's no reason not to anymore. So again, you can imagine some situations in your life, and you don't have to really know. I mean, you could take your time and intuit specifics on one or two of them if you want, but it's not necessary. So just imagine some situations where there's a direct route and a long roundabout thing that's avoidant, and you're taking a long roundabout instead. And then just imagine the baggage you're avoiding next to that direct route and just melt it away. Like, you know, little bags of baggage along that direct path, and just melt those away. All right, so a couple deep breaths. All right, good job. So unblock nurturing loop. We've done that every healing this set. So it's a metaphorical, you know, way of doing things where you imagine, you know, here's you, and then this is not a literal loop that you have in your aura or something, but it's just a way of visualizing. So you imagine you, and then there's this loop of your nurturing energy. And if it flows at all, then you have some nurturing ability to nurture anybody, maybe a plant, maybe a person, maybe, you know, a pet or something, or a neighbor, being kind to them. So obviously you want at least some flow in this nurturing loop, right? And so just imagine, you can imagine like a green river if you want, because green is heart chakra, fourth chakra, but you can imagine it any rainbow color or gold. And then the if you have blocks towards yourself, towards nurturing yourself, they'll be like around towards the second half of the river. Because in this metaphorical image, then this part is where you bring that nurturing energy to use in nurturing yourself, for sure. So check, especially for any blocks along here, because you want all that energy to be able to come and you use it for yourself, so that you have that option of nurturing yourself as much as you need. So that's explaining the nurturing loop. And now we're going to unblock the nurturing loop. Unblock your nurturing loop. So just look at it like a river that flows in a circular shape. And the blocks could be like, say, from a person that you have that's trying to weaken you, that wants you to be dependent, that wants you to be easy to control. So they could have shoved their energy into this nurturing loop. Or you could notice their energy blocking up your nurturing loop, so you could just melt it away. Because if someone wants to control you, even just subconsciously, they want you weak. And how are you weak? Well, if you can't nurture yourself, then you get weaker and weaker and weaker, right? So just check out, especially if you have like a person in mind who you think is particularly manipulative and just, for whatever reason, they want you dependent. Just check for their energy in particular. You don't have to, but that kind of is interesting. And obviously clear it out with gold light. All right, so that was unblocking your nurturing loop. Good job. Woo-woo. So then we will do something else, which is also a repeat from Healing 2, which is unblock your needs mirror. So your needs mirror is a metaphorical device or image that you create. It's not something you keep in your space all the time. It's just something that you create and then you use it as a more metaphorical way to clear something. Much like if you were to create a garden representing your love life, and then you unblock it and heal it. And by unblocking and healing this garden, you are healing your love life energy, right? So it's the same idea, but it's a mirror just because being aware of your needs is a bit like seeing yourself. So I thought that would be a good way to do it, to create a specific mirror. You can make it full length, unless that really freaks you out. But you can make a full length mirror and decorate it however you want, make it how you like it, and be aware and encourage an awareness of anything that is covering up the mirror, like any sort of goo that just comes out of the mirror, blocking you from seeing an accurate image of your own needs, because that's what the needs mirror does. It helps you see your own needs. Like, for example, my need for peace and quiet, which I didn't really realize. I knew I needed inner peace, but I sort of underestimated it in previous decades of my life. But I really like inner peace. I really like tranquility. Anyway, so it's good to see your needs, right? But you can have so much that is sort of in front of that mirror, distorting your perception of your needs. Like, an easy example is like, marketing, corporate marketing could be in front of your needs mirror telling you that you need to, look a certain way. So you need to wear makeup, or you need to, you need to be a certain weight or else you're worthless, or you need to, look like you make $1 million because you're buying all these expensive clothes or whatever. You can have distortions in front of your mirror, and you want to just be aware of just whatever junk is there and melt it away, so that you can have, even just subconsciously, a much more accurate sense of what your real needs are. Okay, so again, be aware of your needs mirror, and you can just heal it overall, make the frame nice as you like it, you know, heal the mirror part, and then just be aware of anything sort of covering up that mirror. And you could notice who it's from if you want, you know, maybe it's from a parent or sibling or an ex or whatever, and just melt it away, melt the junk away. And you can also have your own judgment clouding this mirror. So it sort of makes it like a mean needs mirror. So like, I need this, but I'm a total idiot and I should have done it earlier and I'm a fool and I'm lazy and blah, blah, blah. You know, like you can have... That's Izzy barking in his sleep. I love that. Oh, he stopped. And I shouldn't have said his name. Anyway, so your needs mirror, and like I said, you could have your own judgment covering your needs mirror or like tinting it so that when you're aware of your needs, it becomes this terrible, shameful, horrible thing, right? So if you have any judgment, any shame in front of your needs mirror, just get rid of that. Lift up the shame, give it to your angels. Lift off the judgment, self-judgment, give it to your angels. If you have like a sort of a self-destructive energy, like, I don't deserve that, you know, just lift off that self-destructive energy off your needs mirror and give it to your angels. Lift it off, give it to your angels. Any guilt, give it to your angels. So again, we're clearing off judgment, guilt, shame from your needs mirror. There you go. And go ahead and update your needs mirror, because just like we updated your dreams when we were working on Dream Big in the last month, it could be that, you know, you had needs when you were in your 20s or your teens or when you were a little kid that you don't have now. You have different needs now. So just, you know, use gold light and just let your needs mirror be current. And if you have any old film on it that makes you only see the stuff you used to need and not what you need now, just lift that off. Any junk that prevents you from acknowledging your present day needs, lift that out, get rid of it. So you're updating your needs mirror just so it's reflective of what you need now at this time in your life. All right, good job. So most of that we had done before about the updating. That's a bit new. And also we were more explicit about getting rid of shame and judgment from your needs mirror. And sort of, yeah, good enough. Okay. All right, so this I think will be the last thing, or one of the last things we do. And that's unblocking your hips and shoulders, which I love doing. Is that directly related to the theme of nurturing yourself? Maybe. It's just cool to do. And, you know, it's one of those all-purpose things that just helps you be more present, which could help you with anything. So always a good thing to do. So that's unblocking within your hips and shoulders, but also your auras around your hips and shoulders. And we'll throw in your neck too, of course. So unblock hips and shoulders and neck. inside them, but also around them. All your auras, your 17 auras around them. Okay? So that's explaining, which was really quick, so then we'll just go to do. And the reason I do hips and shoulders at the same time and why I like it so much is that you can have blocks that are in both places and you might not even notice them unless you're doing hips and shoulders at the same time, and then you're like, oh, look at that. So it's really nice to do them at the same time, because then you notice that level of compression and pressure. You could clear it. So we're unblocking hips and shoulders. Oh, and another thing I want to add to that is unblocking within the hips. Because the hips are cool. Like if I had my skeleton out, I have a life-size skeleton model, of course. But it's in the other room and I don't feel like getting it right now. But the hips, they're kind of cool. They make like this bone bowl kind of, you know, like you're with your hips, and I forget all the names of the bones right now, but it's like you have the front part of the bowl and the back part of the bowl. And so that's with bone, right? But then you can imagine any hard energy blocks within that bowl, you know, on the inside of the bone bowl, which is, bones are good. We like bones, right? Keep your bones. But is there any hard, you know, blocked energy in sort of a bowl shape within the bones of your hips? So just imagine the bones of your hips and how it kind of forms a bowl shape, and then go within that. Is there any hard, it could be like a big bowling ball of hardness, or it could just be a bowl shape of hardness, and just lift out whatever's healthy and gentle. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then just adjust to that, you know, maybe wiggle around, think of your, you know, be present in your ankles, stretch them a little. A couple deep breaths. Again, be aware of your bones of your hip and how that's kind of like a bowl. And then go within that and see if there's any hardness. And if it's like a big ball of hardness or a bowl of hardness, and just lift all that out, whatever's healthy and gentle. And give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, so you have the bowl of bones in your hips, and then go within that. If there's any hardness there, either a bowl of hardness or a ball of hardness, surround it in gold light. Lift it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Oh, maybe just, you know, put your hands on, you know, the front of this area just to send in extra gold light there. You could reground red or orange or yellow. And just notice what that did for your grounding flow. How do you feel? Give a little extra healing to your legs so you can be there more. And that's something, of course, you can keep doing more and more over time, but you know, that healthy and gentle intention. And just, you can heal everything. You're, you know, I'm just going all around, like head, spine, muscles, nerves, all your limbs, you know, arms, legs, fingers, toes. It's like a nice little overall healing. Just because lifting all that stagnant energy out of your hip region is kind of a big shift. So that's why I'm kind of comforting the whole body now. Like, oh, okay, it's all right. You're safe. Everything's fine. It's okay. And then just check your grounding again. Just unblock it. All right. You could redo your buffer zones, gold buffer zones. Adjust your angels. Angels, can you give me a healing? Help me wrap up. All right, you're amazing. Woo woo, that was the healing. Yay, good job, good job, good job. All right. we are done with the healing. So that was roughly an hour of healing, I think. Oh no, that was an hour and a half of healing. There was like roughly a half hour of the 4 essentials, and then an hour of everything else. And then there was a little chit chat at first. So now I will catch up on some comments, maybe not all of them. We'll see. If I don't get to your comment or question, feel free to post it again under any video at any time. And when I have a chance, I will post a reply under the video. That is my favorite way, my preferred way, my suggested way of asking me an energy question is just post it under a video. And I'll get to it when I can. Alrighty. So if you have a comment about how this healing was for you, that's especially welcome. And you know, if you have a comment about the theme, which is nurturing yourself, that would also be especially welcome. Someone says, feeling a little sleepy, but you posted that early, so I'm assuming that did clear during the healing. Someone says, hi from Germany. Well, hello to you. Someone says, hiya, hello to you. Someone says, popped online to see the hairy man picture. Popped in my face again, LOL. Yes, the hairy man. Can't get away from him. I wish I had that quality drawing, but in a female body image. Just because I have more female clients than male clients, so I think that could be nice for women to see a female body image, but it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, so here you go. So this is, thanks so much, Janet. Really liked the mirror exercise. I feel physically relaxed. That's nice. I love working from home, but I never seem to have motivation to get stuff done. It's like I'm frozen. What's going on here? I work in the office twice a week. Yeah, it's funny, you know, that people find that, possibly I found that, I think it's pretty common. If you're self-employed, there's maybe even more of that, where you have to clear baggage so that you can motivate yourself. You know, if you're like self-employed and you work at your home, yeah, it's just baggage. So, you know, you got to clear it, but over time, you know, I don't think it's inner wounds that are making you less focused and motivated when you work from home. I think it's just baggage. I don't think it's boundary issues. I think it's just baggage. It's like, you know, it could be baggage from like, you know, doing homework when you were a kid at home, or, you know, when you were a kid, you know, not wanting to go to bed and said you should do. So like, you have sort of like an inner child rebellion vibe, which makes you not want to be productive. So you could do inner child healing, any inner child healing that's necessary, so that you can, you know, you're more able to enjoy working from home, and you have more discipline and focus about it. You could just, you know, blow up any baggage that's in the way of you working well from home. Oh, right. Because when you're in an office, it's just a different dynamic. Someone else is managing the physical location, and, you know, you can be seen. So there's this level of like social conditioning that kicks in of like, oh, I need to be responsible now, you know. But when you're home, you know, you can't be observed in the same way. And so you may have childhood baggage, you may have other baggage that wouldn't have come up at work when you're in an office with others. So it can be cleared, but it, you know, it's just kind of funny. You might not have realized you had it until you find yourself needing to work from home. Someone says, hi. Oh, wait. Yeah. Someone says, hi, Janet. How did my son do? Is he finally strong enough to free himself of the abusive girlfriend? Yeah. I knew you would ask that. No, doesn't look like it. I did look at him especially looking during the unblocking nurturing loop, so that second part of the nurturing loop could, you know, so that he can nurture himself. Because if he's totally unable to nurture himself, then he's unable to make a decision that would help him. But to be honest, I was also looking at you during the nurturing loop exercise, unblock nurturing loop exercise, because there are significant ways that you in your life have other people's energy clogging up your nurturing loop so that you're unable to make decisions that would benefit you versus benefiting other people. So I guess I would say the only way to help your friend, I mean, you're already getting healings and you're praying to the angels for him all the time. So you're doing what you can do. So you can remind him telepathically to work with his angels, but you do that too on a spirit level once a day, which is fine. So yeah, I would just work on your own nurturing loop, work on your own needs mirror and your own nurturing loop, and maybe some of it will inspire him, but you need it too, so you may as well just work on it. Because that may inspire him. If you make steps forward in your life. And that's something that you could work on, and you have control over that. You can't control how fast he grows and what he's ready for or not ready for. Which I know is a challenge when you care about somebody, but that's the way it is. So that helps. So he did, the healing helped, but just not as much as you would have wanted it to, basically, which is always true. It seems like. Someone says, thanks so much, Janet. Really like the mirror exercise. I feel physically relaxed. Oh, okay. I'm reading them out of order. Sorry about that, guys. So now I'm catching up and reading them in order, hopefully. Someone says, I have been romantically fixated on someone, and you're mentioning his initials, for some time. The angels knocked that idea off the table. Good job for noticing that. For those that don't know, there are simple sort of visual tricks you can do when you're talking to your angels. In case your telepathy, your hearing, nonverbal hearing is not super detailed yet, you can, do visual games to that may be more obvious for you, the listener and the perceiver. So you can, put on the table, like if I want to see if I should garden outside today and I want to ask my angels, I have a table out in front, make a table out in front of me, and I put gardening outside, as like a little word bubble or something, or an outdoor shovel, representing gardening outside. And I see if my angels are going to keep it on the table or shove it off the table, which they shove off the table because they're like, seriously, you have so much other stuff to do today. So that's a simple way. I mean, of course, I can hear the extra stuff, but I wasn't always able to do that. So that would have been useful to me years ago when I did not have that good hearing. But anyway, so you're saying that the angels knocked that idea off the table and pointed to a mountain in the distance to say, let go of this crush and focus on fun and adventure in the distance. I'm still having trouble letting it go, though. Advice. Letting go of your fixation about that guy. I don't think you have leftover like past life or this life karma with him, which you could clear anyway. But sometimes, like say in a past life, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to date him, but he just moved away. I'll never see him again. Oh, you may sort of like save this karma of like a future plan, like I must date this person, even though it's not a particularly good idea, you just get stuck on it. And now you feel like I must date him, but I don't think there's anything like that. I think that he's just sort of a metaphorical person you're latching onto. I don't think you're interacting with him on a spirit level more than like, I think you've met him twice with your angels and it went nowhere. It was like a total dud conversation and you're like, yeah, okay, I see what you guys mean. You told your angels, yeah, all right, you're right, I know. He's just not all I make him out to be. But then consciously, that feeling doesn't come forward when you wake up. But I think it's just, you're using him as a metaphor for what you would like. And so maybe just start making a list of, like generalize it more formally and just be like, okay, well, this is the type of qualities that I think, personal qualities that I think would be good in a long-term compatible person with me, or even a short-term fun relationship. These are the personal qualities that I would like in a person, and just try to make it more general. And if there are certain qualities in that guy that you like, then we'll put those general qualities on your list, Um, Also, you could just work on clearing some fourth layer blocked energy, because I think that you like get stuck in that and sort of tune out and daydream. And so I think that's part of what it is. It's just like there's some stuck energy in your fourth layer that causes you to get spacey and just have these daydreams. So there's that. So I hope that helps. So unblock your fourth layer more often in your fourth chakra, and maybe consider making a general list, or, just thinking in general about, what do I want in a partnership? What would be compatible with me? Like, for example, what did my ex not have that I need? Stuff like that. Someone says, thank you for healing me and my, so basically if you find yourself thinking of that guy, just recenter, like get back in, unblock your hips and shoulders, unblock your fourth layer, because you're popped out and stuck in some blocked energy in generally your fourth layer when you're doing that. All right. Someone says, thank you for healing me and my daughter and my son-in-law and their child. Yes, and you mentioned their initials. Healing myself as I walk through along with you, feeling better and better. Oh, good. How's my grandson doing? Well, the healing did help, but he's a little bit weighed down by his dad's baggage, your son-in-law. But just stay present. Do not jump into that. He's the parent, you're not. That's very common for a kid to get bogged down by their parents' baggage. I just talked to him, your son-in-law, and I mentioned that, did he realize that he was running his stress through his son accidentally? And no, he didn't realize that. And I said, well, you can think of it like you're your own tree and your little son is his own tree. And so they're separate trees. And that'll help you to, have healthier boundaries with him. And he likes that. So he thinks that's okay. If you notice that in the future, like a week from now or something, and you notice that your grandson isn't like moving forward on his path, and it's because he's sort of weighed down by his dad's baggage in his space, then you can just don't directly intervene, but just mention to your son-in-law, just, hey, remember the whole separate tree thing. If you want, it could strengthen you more and help you manage stress better if your son is a separate tree and you're a separate tree and you're both strong trees. But he says that's not offensive if you were to say it like that. He likes the idea of two big strong trees, and he's raising a big strong tree and he's a separate big strong tree. He likes that. So he's like, as long as you don't talk about it too much with him, because that would be weird, because you're his mother-in-law, not his wife, so that would be too much. But once a week, he says, would not be too much. Just, make sure you're feeling your body and you're staying out of his brain. But yeah, so that's that. Hope that helps. But yeah, I mean, they all benefited. Your daughter's kind of laughing about that whole thing with the father son. She's like, yeah, they're father son bonding, but yeah, I can see your point. All right, cool. So hope that helps. They all did pretty well. Okay. Someone says, oh, I already read something for that person. But they're saying, what do angels recommend for me to get income and be stable? When do the angels think repairs, damage be started and completed? Thank you. I mean, I tend to. Okay, I mean, you could work the needs mirror. You could work the unblocking the nurturing loop for yourself. Unblocking the needs mirror, unblocking the nurturing loop. Because there's some way in which you do try to heal yourself, but then you let people harm you in your life. Like you enable destructive relationships that you have. It's like you kind of, that timeline healing would be very good that we did today. That could be nice. Because the more you're in the present time, as far as needs, because if you get too much energy stuck in like negative, like say childhood experiences, then you're just overwhelmed and you feel like you can't do anything about your life. Whereas the more you heal the timeline so that more of your energy is in the present, then you're going to have more of an adult, empowered, take charge kind of a confidence as far as like thinking of what you can do and taking action. So timeline healing would be nice too. I mean, right now, all your essentials just got done with the healing. You're just a little, I would say maybe do a little extra unblocking right in front of all your major chakras and behind all your major chakras. So like there's like a little crust, like right up, in the first layer right here and back right behind there. So just melt that crust so that it's just because you got so much damage through your interaction with people in your life in the last day that, even though everything's repaired, it's like, well, your chakras are still working a little overtime. So just melt the crust, in front of and behind your chakras. But everything otherwise seems okay. But they feel like it's not, I mean, yes, you need to make progress in getting a job and getting employment, but it's more about being self-assertive, period. Like taking charge, taking action, doing even small things, so yeah, so timeline healing, maybe. Just because the more you feel like an adult, the more confidence you might have. You could even remind yourself, I am an adult, but not in a judgy way, like, and this is ridiculous, I have these problems because I should be an adult. Yeah. Remind yourself in a nice way about it. Like, I am an adult, I can do this. I'm going to do this one action. Give yourself the babyest steps you possibly can and just do one thing at a time. And if you feel debilitated, redo your 4 essentials. But yeah, so I hope that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, and thank you. I feel that my 7th-8th connection is much wider after the healing. That's great news. Can you please suggest what may help with changing outdated beliefs and planting the seeds of new ideas? I think you could just work that more, what we did with the, I mean, you just mentioned it, the right after we finished the 4 essentials, we did that clear group pain from within you and from, you know, around your 7th-8th connection and around the outer surfaces of your auras. Just like get all of that, you know, and just keep melting it. I don't think you do have outdated ideas. I think that you just are smushed, you know, with the pain of the world wrapped around you. And I think probably a third of it cleared with today's healing. But, you know, that's because we did the healthy and gentle amount. So then you can work on it again, you know, on a different day and again on a different day. Or in your sleep if you feel like you're not motivated enough to do it when you're awake. You know, just do it in your sleep with your angels over several days. But I don't think outdated ideas you really have. I think you get too wrapped up in the pain of everybody around you, and then you just kind of shut off. So just keep working on, you know, what you were doing with the 5th layer, you know, inner peace. That's very important for you because it's important for you to have that inner silence. That helps you with your boundaries. But yeah. So I hope that helps. So yeah, I don't think you have outdated beliefs. If you want, you can post more specifically in like under a video later, and I'll comment back when I have time. You know, post specifically an example of an outdated belief that you have. But maybe it's just like negative self-image you have. Like I was thinking with that needs mirror, you know, imagine what energy of yours is self-destructive. You know, like you don't deserve that, or you know, and just imagine that as a coating on your needs mirror and just melt it away. So that you can perceive your needs and be, you know, really mellow and calm and you know, go ahead and make it happen. All right, so this is, thank you for the healing, but I've already read some stuff for you. Well, you are saying, I feel much better. Had really bad back of neck pain this morning. Yeah, wax from your ex. It feels noticeably better now. Yeah, because your aura got repaired and those hard objects popped out and the chakra got healed. Love this theme and set just what I needed at this time. Oh, good. Someone says, thank you. I feel more steady, more capable today. You go, girl. I think I've got my confidence back. There you go. You could do it. You could do it. Just simple. Simple, stable, girl. Be the tree. Don't be the leaf blowing off of the tree. Be the tree. Right. You're also another, I mean, it's true for everybody, but you're another big one with lots of the pain of the world wrapped all around you. So just keep melting that off of you from around your 7th-8th connection, from around, you know, outside your aura. Just get rid of all that wrapped global pain out of around you. Some of this makes sense about inner child when working from home. I often feel like a crabby toddler when trying to get stuff done at home. LOL. Thanks. Yep. Someone says, anything other videos I can do for extra nurturing, as I missed beginning of this and ended up blowing out my chakras yesterday. I think, again, just start from beginning of this video. Yeah, just do this video. This video is fine. You don't need a different one. You could put your initials when you do make a comment, and that requires me to read you because I don't tend to remember your initials, and that YouTube ID is very, you know, sort of woo-woo. It doesn't show me your initials on the energy level. But anyway, yeah, just do this video. There's a lot of good stuff in it. If I had to pick one thing out of today, I would say timeline healing. Because when you think of your needs and nurturing yourself, you have a lot of energy that gets stuck in different, like, wounded childhood experiences. So that'd be a good thing for you to, you know, melt away that stuck energy so that you can be more of the present time adult as you're thinking about your life and thinking about, you know, giving yourself what you need. So I hope that makes sense. Sometimes when you can't manage your emotions, a lot of you is stuck in childhood years. So just check out a timeline, how much of you is now in the present with your body and how much of you is stuck in childhood years or past life stuff. And just, you know, use gold light and just melt away the stuck stuff so that those parts of you can come in the present, and you can just sort of, and also 7th-8th connection too, because that helps give you like a wise, mellow sort of, you know, a way to, you know, not make decisions or actions that you'll regret later, basically. So timeline healing and more 7th-8th stuff would be good. Someone says, hi, Janet. I feel super happy, balanced, and optimistic today. Love it. Oh, good. That's great. I'm glad. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I just felt a lot of anger about 20 to 30 minutes ago, and still, after talking to a coworker, did I get whacked? Yes. Maybe my grounding blocked up. No, you got whacked. Yeah, it was like front right here. And so it cracked some of your major chakras, not a lot of them, but it cracked, it damaged minor meridians, minor chakras within like these meridians. They damage more quickly than it's almost like, you know, like a big chakra would be like, if it were made out of glass, which it's not, it would be like, you know, thick glass, you know, thick, really heavy duty glass. Whereas the minor chakras, they'd be made out of more delicate glass. So like your sort of a medium-sized blast from somebody may just put cracks in a few of your chakras because you have pretty good flow right now. So you just got a few cracks in your major chakras, but the minor chakras, a whole bunch of them just blew up. So just repair all your major and minor chakras again, especially, you know, that area, and then just check that part of your aura, your front right, and just repair all your 17 auras right around there. But yeah, you got whacked. They did not throw any hard objects. It was just a blast of energy. So there's no like axe handle or axe blade to remove. Someone says, hi, Janet, thanks for the healing. I don't feel ready to start pro. A part of me is hanged on other projects. And if I can't figure out all this by myself, how am I ready to start pro? Yeah, well, you may not be ready to start pro. You know, that's the difference. You may want to start pro right now, but, you know, the more you can sort of back away from the desire, you can tune into more of like what is appropriate now, considering the realities of your life, considering your skill levels today, considering all sorts of factors, you know, finances, people in your family, etc. So yeah, you may really be not ready to go pro right now, which is okay. You know, it's not like some personal failure. You know, I went pro when I was 31? But that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be ready at 31. I didn't have kids, you know, so that's a whole different thing. You know, when I went pro, I was able to say, look, you know, if I starve, I starve, you know, because I didn't have kids. I wouldn't have said that if I had kids, because I don't want my kids to starve. I wouldn't have done that to kids, you know. So it's just, try to just tune into not what other people do, not what you want to do, not the timeline that you want to have, but the timeline that's realistic based on your actual needs. You know, you need a roof over your head because in part you have kids, you know, because like I was single and I was like, if I wind up in a homeless shelter, so be it, you know. But, you know, that's not the situation that you're in. So just, it's okay. Could be the dawning of some inner wisdom if you're starting to change and shift and look at needs and wants and look at, you know, maybe going back to a very mainstream looking type of job that you left before is what you need right now. When I was in my, how old was I? I was mid-20s. And I left my computer job. I was like, I'm going to start a jewelry business. And I wasn't that present, you know. And at the time, I was married to my first husband, who was, you know, he's a piece of work. And we were not compatible at all. And so I was like, I'm going to start my jewelry business. I'm going to make a living making jewelry because that's what I want, right? You know? And then, of course, he promptly got fired from his job right away. And, you know, we were like really hard up for money for like 6 months until I realized, like, hey, this is silly. I'm going to have to go back to computer jobs. Because I thought, you know, I'm done with computer jobs. It's not what I want to do with my life. Therefore, I'm done. Yeah. But, you know, the reality of it was, you know, I needed to eat and I was married and he had no income. And so, you know, I went back to computers, you know, and I turned it into some glorious thing on my resume. You know, I said I was the CEO and designer of the jewelry company that I had started, which of course flopped, you know, but everybody thought that was kind of cool to read somebody's computer resume with, you know, jewelry company in it. Oh, I think it got me some extra interviews just because people were like, well, she's not boring, you know? So, you know, and I worked computer jobs after that for, you know, probably another 6 years or so. And it was a very helpful thing. You know, I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do ultimately, but, you know, I needed the stability. I needed the finances. I needed, you know, to just not reinvent the wheel every goddamn day to pay my rent, you know? So, you know, there are things that you want, and then there are things you need to do. You know, and so just give yourself inner child healings, clear baggage between you and your angels, you know, on your end of it, of course, not their end. Whatever you need to do to get clarity on really, you know, the realities of today and what you need to do today. So I hope that helps. That's just some personal examples, which may or may not apply to you. But I hope it's of some use, or at least amusing. Someone says, I always wanted to marry, and you mentioned that person's initials. What do the angels say about me and that person now or this year? Thank you. And you mentioned your name. They seem to be pushing you towards a job and not towards a marriage. Like, I mean, obviously you could have both, you know, you could marry somebody and also work. But I think they're like, focus on a job, get a job, keep your job, you know, work on boundaries within the workplace, work on being safe within your job. And then once you get your job, that helps you, you know, be safe and stable. Then work on redoing your personal, how you view your personal relationships and fine tune all that, because you're kind of stuck in a savior complex where you try to save these people in your life that aren't really, half the relationships that you have are not at all healthy for you. So, but they're like, you need stability, you need kind of a rock. And they feel like getting a job, a regular paying job, is the best rock for you right now, and not a person. Because that kind of rock, you know, a stable job, it fortifies you in a certain way so that you can just, you know, live and breathe and have your job, and it helps you to kind of process better and gives you some stability. Because if you have no stability, it's just hard to grow, because you always feel like you're on pins and needles, you know, and you're just freaking out, you know. So they just seem to try to get you to focus on a job. They're like, that person in particular, I mean, they don't push him off your table, but they kind of put him to the side. And they put like job in huge letters right in the center of your table. So I hope that helps. They're sort of not commenting one way or the other on that guy. So they want you to focus on getting a job. So I hope that helps. So it says, thank you for healing me. I enjoyed the 7th chakra. Maybe 7th to 8th chakra unblocking work. I feel a sense of ease and relief. I don't feel my mom as much today. That's nice. The mirror exercise was a fog for me and couldn't understand, follow along. Meaning you didn't understand what I'm saying? Maybe? Yeah, it just, you need to, like, some people, they just don't know what they truly need. You know, like, case in point, when I was in my early 20s, I thought I needed some really handsome guy who was great in bed, you know, and I was just convinced that that was, you know, pretty much my main need in life. Which is funny, you know, you know, whatever, it is what it is, but it was not very enlightened or accurate. But that's what motivated me, you know. I was very convinced that I needed, you know, so it was not an accurate view of my needs mirror. The needs mirror is this little exercise that you do where, you know, if you look in your needs mirror and you clear the junk off your needs mirror, then at least subconsciously you're going to be seeing yourself and what you need in life. And so me at that time, I had this so much junk over it that when I looked in my needs mirror, I thought, oh, I just need some really hot boyfriend. So if I had worked, you know, clearing off my needs mirror more and more, then I would have realized, no, I need to choose my friends more carefully, and I need to start saving money, and I need to maybe think about flossing my teeth, and I maybe stretch once in a while. You know? And maybe learn, you know, what is a healthy relationship and what's not a healthy relationship, you know, but my needs mirror had just too much junk on it. So I wasn't aware of, I didn't have an accurate sense of what I really needed. And so I was not able to nurture myself because I thought I needed some hot guy who was good in bed. And I pursued that and obtained it many times. But, well, yeah. But it wasn't my true need. So it didn't work. It wasn't self-nurturing. So that's what the needs mirror exercise is. You just clear junk out of the way. So you're more and more likely to perceive what you really need. So then you can make it happen or work on it. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing. You're welcome. Someone says, thank you for doing these. You're welcome. Someone says, I've been feeling stuck lately. Do you have any insight or suggestions? I think the healing made me aware of my self-nurturing habits, also feeling much more present and less sleepy. Thank you. I've been feeling very stuck lately. Your path gets blocked. So you could just keep unblocking your spiritual path. Lately, it seems like your 7th chakra gets damaged a lot. Like someone's been whacking you from the top, and then you'll heal the aura, but you won't fully heal your 7th. So that can kind of give you this sort of lost, aimless kind of feel. So, so yeah, I would just maybe, you know, make sure like extra repair on your 7th. And unblock your path more often. Just check, you know, how am I doing on my path today? And if you're moving forward, then that's good. If you're just standing there looking kind of lost, then, you know, maybe heal yourself on your path, unblock your path, and see if that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet. I've gotten back into trying to work on my basics daily after work or before bed. Sometimes I'm lazy about it, but I'm thinking I've gotten to a healthy space there. Any feedback for me? Feels like I've gotten to a point where I know I'm living in a mundane kind of lifestyle and the energy healing is real and all, but it isn't like some magical fix for the things I've got to learn in life. Yeah, I don't know if that's a question, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, you look like you've been in 7 through 2 lately, so that's pretty present. You could unblock the back of your chakras and the back of your grounding a little bit more. But yeah, it does seem like your work on the 4 essentials is effective and working. As far as your, I know I'm living a mundane kind of lifestyle. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe work your heart chakra just a little more. So, because like 7th and 4th can give you a deeper sense of meaning. But your angels say you're growing up. Like there is a level of maturing happening. So I hope that's reflected in your daily thoughts and actions. I don't know, but yeah, they say you're growing up. So that's cool. Someone says, LOL, I love tales of 20-something Janet. Oh my God, flaming hot mess, Janet. Jokes aside, it's legit helpful to hear about your journey. Oh, good. Someone says, hi, I feel very much a shift, more commitment to making the change away from day job. There has also been a lot more interest in my projects this week already. Any advice to keep this momentum going? I think what we did today, we did it after the 4 essentials. The first thing we did is clear group pain around from your 7th-8th connection and around the outside of your auras, like even 15 feet from there. Just clear all the energy of the pain of people on the planet, you know, from all around you, you know, from within you and outside of you, that's wrapped around you. I think you could keep doing that. You're pretty good with, you know, your intuition about what you need. Maybe keep doing hips and shoulders. That's a nice one to just unblock hips and shoulders, which we did do today, unblock hips and shoulders. That's a nice one to just keep trucking. Maybe also if you want manifestation wings, that's another one that's sort of a high power technique to just kind of be like, yeah, I could do this, you know. All systems we go, you know. So manifestation wings, the clearing the group pain from around you. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for the explanation. I was looking at myself, but seemed like I was seeing myself in a dark bathroom mirror. Felt lost at what I needed to do. Yeah, so the idea is it's not bad to have junk in front of the mirror. That's good. That's the stuff you get rid of. You know, so there's the mirror that is your needs mirror that you create and you make that nice. But then probably right away, you'll start seeing junk on the mirror, which is good. That's the stuff you get rid of. It could be like childhood shame or past life of, you know, religious shame from a past life, or, you know, fear or whatever, you know, drama that is in between you and accurately perceiving your needs, even just subconsciously. So you look at the mirror, you make it cool, but then if it starts to look really gross and weird, that's not bad at all. You just take off the gross and weird part and give it to your angels, and just keep doing that. Like, just notice more gross and weird, give it to your angels, you know, so, and just keep healing it. So it's just this, the idea is that just by going through this experience, you're purging out what's in between you and being aware of your needs accurately, more and more accurately. Someone says, haha, I was ranting a bit, I think. I wanted to try to explain that my perspective has shifted, and I'm thinking about the energy healing as something like brushing your teeth. Yeah, I have grown up quite a bit, and it has caused me to change how I used to view my life and the expectations I had of myself and others. Thank you for your feedback, Janet. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're losing some of that. You had almost like a paranoia way that you used your energy healing to, like, you know, keep the evil of the world away from you or something. And now I think you've lost a lot of that fear and you're more just in the world, and you're not trying to use energy healing knowledge as some like safety voodoo, you know, you're just existing in the world, and then you're doing your maintenance. So I think you've lost some fear. You've cleared some fear, which is nice. Okay, you guys are amazing. As you've been able to hear my dog Izzy right there. And then here is Smokey right here, who I talked about Smokey. I told stories about Smokey at the end of the second healing, in case any of you missed it and want to hear stories about my cat Smokey. And then I will go and get my dog Daisy out of the crate, her little house there. So that'll be the last minute of this video where I just deal with my dogs. You can see my dogs. And of course my cat Smokey. Right. All right, stretch, stretch, stretch. Okay, so that's Smokey right there, of course. Hey, Smokey Moo. That's Smokey. And that's Daisy over there walking away. And that's Izzy right there. There you go. All right, I'm going to have to take my dogs out, but you're amazing. Congratulations for healing yourself. You are really awesome. Take care.